What if the Sarajevo incident had failed? How would world history have changed? On June 28, 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary and his wife Sophie visited Sarajevo. It was supposed to be just another official state visit, but this day would become infamous as the spark that ignited World War I. Gavrilo Princip, a young Serbian nationalist, fired 2 fatal shots, killing both the Archduke and his wife. This assassination triggered global conflict, reshaped political boundaries, and defined the turbulent course of the entire 20th century, including the rise of totalitarian regimes and the Cold War. But what if the assassination had failed? What if Franz Ferdinand had survived that fateful day? How drastically would world history have changed? Today, we will dive deeply into this alternate scenario. Europe in 1914 was a powder keg, filled with intense nationalism, complicated alliances, and simmering imperial rivalries. The Austro-Hungarian Empire, a complex and multi-ethnic state, struggled with internal divisions. Franz Ferdinand planned reforms to decentralize the empire, granting greater autonomy to ethnic minorities. Ironically, these reforms alarmed Serbian nationalists, who viewed the Archduke as a threat to their dream of a unified South Slavic state. At the same time, 2 opposing military alliances dominated Europe: the Triple Alliance, Germany, Austria-Hungary, Italy, and the Triple Entente, Britain, France, Russia. These alliances, designed for security, instead created an environment where a small regional conflict could escalate rapidly into a continental war. The assassination attempt in Sarajevo was marked by coincidences and chance events. Initially, the plan failed when a bomb thrown at Franz Ferdinand's car missed its target. Later, the Archduke's car accidentally took a wrong turn, stopping directly in front of Gavrilo Princip, giving him the perfect opportunity to carry out the assassination. What if these coincidences hadn't occurred? Imagine Princip had failed to fire his gun, or Franz Ferdinand's driver had followed the intended route. Such seemingly minor changes could have significantly altered history. Had Franz Ferdinand survived, Austria-Hungary would have lacked a strong justification to declare war on Serbia. Without the declaration, Germany wouldn't have felt compelled to back its ally militarily, possibly avoiding the outbreak of World War I entirely. No World War I means no Treaty of Versailles, no punitive reparations imposed on Germany, and perhaps no economic turmoil and humiliation that fueled Adolf Hitler's rise to power. Without Hitler, Nazism might have remained a minor fringe movement, potentially preventing World War II. Similarly, World War I directly led to the Russian Revolution of 1917, ending the Russian Empire and giving birth to the Soviet Union. Without the war, the Tsarist regime might have persisted, delaying or entirely preventing the Bolshevik Revolution. This would mean no Soviet Union and likely no Cold War, reshaping global geopolitics entirely. If Franz Ferdinand had lived, Austria-Hungary would still have faced internal struggles. His planned reforms aimed to grant more autonomy to Slavic regions within the empire. While this might have delayed some conflicts, it is unclear if the empire could have held together in the long term. Nationalist movements were already gaining strength across Europe, and the empire's bureaucratic structure struggled to adapt. A more decentralized Austria-Hungary could have survived longer, perhaps evolving into a federalized state similar to modern-day Switzerland. However, it is also possible that internal tensions would have eventually led to its dissolution, even without a world war. Another crucial factor was the aging Emperor Franz Joseph, who strongly opposed Ferdinand's reforms. If the assassination had failed, tensions between the emperor and his heir might have led to a political crisis within Austria-Hungary. Would Ferdinand have successfully implemented his policies, or would conservative factions have resisted change? Without the devastating wars of the 20th century, Europe would have maintained its economic dominance for longer. The massive destruction caused by World War I and World War II created economic vacuums, allowing the United States to rapidly ascend as the world's leading economic and industrial power. Without war-driven industrialization, military technology, such as tanks, fighter jets, and nuclear weapons, might have developed more slowly. Conversely, peace could have allowed for greater investment in civilian infrastructure, medicine, and energy. Advances in renewable energy, telecommunications, and space exploration might have been prioritized over military technologies. If there had been no military necessity to accelerate computing technology during World War II and the Cold War, developments in digital computing might have been significantly delayed. Would the internet and personal computers have emerged decades later than they did? The United States' rise as a global superpower was largely due to the impact of the two world wars. Without them, the U.S. might have remained more isolationist, focusing on domestic economic growth rather than global influence. Additionally, the military-industrial complex that emerged during the 20th century might never have taken shape in the same way. This could have altered the trajectory of industries such as aviation, computing, and even medicine, which were significantly influenced by wartime research and development. Avoiding World War I doesn't mean the world would have remained peaceful forever. New conflicts might have emerged in different ways. Without a weakened Europe, colonial empires might have persisted for longer, delaying independence movements in Africa and Asia. At the same time, Japan's imperial ambitions in Asia could have evolved differently. Without the Pacific War, Japan might have expanded through diplomacy and economic influence rather than military conquest. Could a major war have erupted later in the 20th century due to unresolved tensions? While the Great War might have been avoided in 1914, new rivalries could have emerged, leading to a different form of global conflict. History is shaped by small moments, often overlooked at the time. Had the Sarajevo assassination failed, the 20th century could have been radically different, possibly more peaceful, or perhaps merely delayed in confronting inevitable conflicts. This alternate scenario highlights the complexity and fragility of history, emphasizing how minor changes can lead to dramatically different outcomes. What are your thoughts? If the Sarajevo incident never happened, how do you envision the world today? Share your insights in the comments below. Join us next time as we explore another fascinating alternate history. What if Napoleon had successfully conquered Britain? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.